Can we have the next question from the floor, please?
Good evening, PMD. I'm Isabel Jang, a Year 1 student from UKUS. I'd like to ask, in light of today's discussion on leadership, what are some key leadership principles that you have learned over the years from important mentors in your journey of leadership?
That sounds like a long lecture, I won't give you a long lecture, but I will give you just a few points. One, you must expect to be under stress. It's a tough job. You will have to deal with unexpected situations, conflicts, problems which do not look as if they've got easy solutions, people problems. And unless you've got the stomach for that, you shouldn't be in this business. 2, you do not know everything yourself. You cannot do everything yourself. You must depend on other people and trust other people, and you must be able to get other people to trust you and work with you. And in many different fields. So if I'm dealing with something on housing, I may have an idea, but I will discuss it with Ma Baotan. He's running housing. On defense or security, I will talk to my minister. And if it's important enough, I will bring it up and discuss it with all of the ministers so that everybody has a view and we build a team together. 3, you are the leader. You have a responsibility to your people. You have to look after them. You have to make the right decision for them. And if you decide, after thinking over carefully, that you have to do this, it's right, you have to have the courage to tell them and persuade them and do it. As Tony Blair said, after he finished being PM, it's very easy for leaders to say yes, it's very hard for leaders to say no. But if you say yes all the time, you're not a leader. And I think that if you want to lead, you have to pay attention to some of this, and it has to be part of your personality. And if you're not comfortable with that, well, then you play a different role. But if you let it get to your head and you think that, now I'm the boss, and I can just give instructions and things will happen, then you will realize, as Mao Zedong said, my writ only extends a little bit beyond Zhongnanhai. Zhongnanhai is where they live in Beijing, and that's where you have absolute control. Beyond that, if people don't respect you, if people do not give weight to what you say or what you argue, your influence goes to zero. So it's too much of a lecture, but basically put your heart into it and do the best you can. And if people trust you, you owe it to them to rise to the occasion.
Thank you very much, PM Lee. Can we have the next student over at this mic?
Good evening, Mr. Lee. I'm Khoo Lee Han from the NUS Faculty of Engineering. The PAP has recently introduced a young slate of new candidates. Can I ask what is being put in place to ensure a smooth transition, especially some of them are just fresh out from the SAF, a few of them are from Army generals, and how do they remain relevant to the older generation as in terms of how they relate to the ground, especially our older generation, let's say my parents and my grandparents, in terms of maybe dialects and languages and ideals?
How are we getting them to get meshed in, you mean, the first question?
Sorry, how do you transit them? Like, for example, I believe you introduced 2 Army generals recently.
So far,
they are just put straight away into politics. So I might ask, like, how, as in, would they be able to transit well into the political field?
I hope so. They are not the first one to have done this. I mean, those of us before, we managed somehow or other, and the voters managed with us. We learned together. And I think they are fast learners. They will find their feet on the ground. They are hitting the ground running. As for the connection between the younger MPs and the older ones, I think there are 2 answers. Firstly, our range of MPs in Parliament contains a mix, so you have younger MPs as well as younger candidates as well as older candidates, so that you have somebody you can identify with. The voters have somebody they can identify directly with. But secondly, I think some young people are quite good at talking to old folks. They have old folks at home, they have relatives, and I think they can, if they can establish a similar rapport. Language may be a problem because of dialect, but other than that, the empathy, the concern, and the human engagement, I think that can be done whether the MP is young or old. It depends on the MP.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lee.
But I don't know what your impression is. What made you ask this question?
Would it seem like that, let's say, for example, if they are in a SMC or GLC whereby there's an aging population, and
do you have somebody in mind?
Sorry? No. I'm just in an open question.
You're sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm just asking, like, if let's say that particular young MP will become, I'm not sure whether you.
No, you may not have anybody in mind, but I think the audience does. So, are you asking about Tin Pei Ling? So, let me tell you what I feel. As far as the web is concerned, all the flaming, that's the way the web is, but unfortunately in Singapore sometimes, or I don't know whether it's in Singapore, it's anonymous. People get carried away and you just throw invective and vitriol. I don't think it adds anything either in terms of credit to the debate, to the people who are doing that, or raises the quality of the debate. But as far as the candidate is concerned, Tin Pei Ling, we first noticed her, I think it was in this hall, 2007. We had a party convention. She was one of the speakers, and she impressed the audience. She spoke sense. She engaged with the audience. She was bilingual. So we made some inquiries, because the party is always looking for names and faces. Turned out that she was in Ulu Pandan, which is Chris D'Souza's constituency. So we asked Chris D'Souza. Chris D'Souza says yes, she's one of the youth activists. Her parents are also grassroots leaders. Father and mother ran a coffee shop, and when they were sick, she helped to run the coffee shop, and she served the customers coffee, teh, and so on. So she knows what it is to be poor and to work hard, and she's a good grassroots leader. So Chris D'Souza put her up as a potential MP. We put her through tea sessions, the interviews, same like all the other candidates. And finally, the party decided to field her. And I think we made the right decision. She is going, it looks like she is going to McPherson. I think that she will work very hard to make it a success. And I'm confident she will make a good MP in due course. So I hope that answers a question which you didn't ask.
Thank you, Mr. Lee.